Vegas, let us know. It's at the Venetian. Any of y'all ever been to the Venetian? Pretty nice place. So we usually have about 10 people go. So let us know if you want to go. Okay. All right. So we are going to talk about a 70-day marketing plan today, and I'm talking with a lot of y'all, but we're going to brainstorm and put this together. Okay. Today. So first of all, I want to bring Joe up at Loan Depot. And actually, Joe's going to be involved in our 70-day marketing plan, too, with some mortgage ideas. But anyway, Joe, go ahead. Tell us what's happening out there.
Okay, so quick market update. I don't know if you guys were watching the markets last week, but there was a ton of volatility. So as we were entering about midway through the week, looked like potentially on Monday that there was going to be tariffs imposed on Mexico. On top of that, we've got the trade wars going on with China, and then there's a lot of economic geopolitical activity with Theresa May stepping down over in the UK and our current ongoing 2020 possible presidential campaign. Okay, so a lot of economic and geopolitical activity created a lot of instability with investors. Investors didn't know what was going to happen, and so they pulled out of the stock market, moved their money into the bond market, and what that caused was a significant drop in interest rates. In fact, we hit a 17-month low. So a 30-year fixed rate mortgage last week on Wednesday dropped to 3.75. We really anticipated on this Monday, that it was going to possibly drop to 3.5. All right. Fortunately, on Friday evening, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, Friday evening that we came to an agreement with Mexico, so obviously those tariffs went away, a little more political stability in the markets, and so rates have kind of rebounded. We're back at that 3.994% rate right now, so it's kind of where we're floating right now, but a lot of news coming out of Hong Kong this morning, more political instability over there, so we'll see how the markets react to that today. But a lot of volatility. So if you're talking to a mortgage lender in one day, make sure your consumer gets their quotes from the lenders on the same day. Because if they get a quote from one bank today, one bank tomorrow, there are going to be variances because the market is really volatile. So it's jumping a lot. In fact, on Monday, I had 3 different rate sheets that I was working on. One when I woke up, one about lunchtime, and before the end of the day, they priced it, froze it. So rates were climbing on Monday again. So that's kind of the market that we're in right now, so just be aware of that. The other thing I want you guys to be aware of is, one,
Record right over here, man.
come on up front, I don't bite.
Yeah.
Don't spit either.
I only sit at the front row in church.
Okay. I'm not preaching today.
I'll get you another seat.
Preach rates.
Right here. Right here.
I'll sit right here.
So the other thing I want you guys to be aware of is because of this drop in rates to a 17-month low, it's kind of woke up the refinance market. All right, so a lot of people have not even been considering refinancing because rates were on an upward bound. And if we talked last year, we were in the high 4s, low 5s. Okay, now we're here floating around the high 3s, low 4s. So it's created a lot of interest in refinancing, both cash out and rate and term. And on top of that, it's peak buying season. So what I want you guys to understand is everybody's maxed out. All right, we're dealing with it the best we can. The problem is there is a very limited number of appraisers. The requirements to become a licensed appraiser have gotten tougher and tougher. And the people that have been in this business and appraising properties are getting older and older. They're not able to do as many as they used to do in a single day, and so it's creating a lot of delays and backlogs in appraisals. Including within my company, obviously we're seeing a slowdown, a backlog in time for underwriting files. All right, we're doing everything we can to expedite that, but normally I'm at about 48 hours. Right now it's closer to about 72. But we did come to an agreement last night between Jeff and myself. We have 3 underwriters that effective noon today. They'll be assigned just to underwrite mine and Jeff's file. I have 3 underwriters that belong to me. The good thing is it creates a lot of cohesiveness, and I can start to understand how that underwriter thinks, and I know what their expectations are of my files, and vice versa. They're going to know what to expect from me going forward, so that's going to streamline things a lot back there in about 24 hours. But just know there's a lot of market activity, both on the buy side, the refinance side, and it's overwhelming title companies, it's overwhelming appraisers, it's overwhelming underwriters, and we are working through it. Just understand that those exist. So when you're writing these offers, just be cognizant of that. Don't write, a purchase contract to close in 10 days and, a 5-day financing appraisal contingency. It's a little unrealistic at this point in the market, all right? I got it, be aggressive, but just be cautious, make sure you're protecting your consumer. Any questions of me on market activity, interest rates? No?
So Joe,
Hey, hold up, Joe, tell them about that VA rehab loan.
I think I talked about it last time, but, so right now, we are the only lender that I am aware of that has been fully certified and vested through the Veterans Administration to conduct a full VA renovation. A lot of other lenders are offering it. What's going on is they're actually brokering it through us. All right, through Loan Depot. We're, to my knowledge, as of today, we're the only lender that has been fully certified and vetted through the VA to do these VA renos. But basically, if you have a veteran that's looking at a property that is distressed, what I can do is I can finance the acquisition cost of the property plus 100% of the repairs. Obviously, I'll have to qualify for that loan amount, but I can finance 100%. So it's still zero difference. No. There was, it's been removed. So you get that buyer, what I like to say with renovation loans, I do quite a few renovation loans. I like to tell agents, you have that consumer that likes everything but, let me remove the but. That's what the renovation loan's for, is let us remove the but. Yes, ma'am.
Do you offer any loans to where, my nephew does not, they pay him cash?
Okay.
Do you offer any loans
We
with
do.
bank statements?
So we
and
do
stuff
have
like
bank
that?
statement loans. They are quite difficult. It's a lot more complicated, but basically it would have to be into a business account. They would have to file Schedule C or 1120S. They have to be 100% owner, 100% vested in the account. We're gonna collect 24 months account statements. We're gonna add all the deposits in there that are payroll deposits, all right? We're gonna add all those up, divide by 24, and then we're gonna use half of that as their qualifying.
You also got hard money lenders that are lending no doc loans, higher interest rates, but not that much problem.
But we can definitely look at options. I have hard money lenders as well if I need it.
So, I wanna ask Jennifer a question here. Yeah. I see her over there looking at her phone, so, no, I'm just teasing her. I'm teasing. No, she was. So I want like a, give me a practical example of like a VA loan. How would that be?
Okay, let me stand up for this.
there you go, Jennifer.
All right, since I'm the new kid on the block, I'm
Yeah.
doing this. Make sure you got this side of me.
Yeah. Oh, she's gonna come up.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, come up.
Okay,
Come up.
If you're gonna put me on the spot, Alice, you gotta.
Yeah,
put me all
try.
Come on up.
We're gonna put you on the spot.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's the best way to learn. Putting
Yeah.
people on the spot, just so you know.
Now, your question was, what is a VA loan?
No, I mean, no. Well, give me, see, we weren't listening. Give me a practical example of one.
A practical example of a VA loan, first of all, the person.
Oh, no. You see, you didn't get it. A practical example of rehab VA loan.
Okay, got that too. All right, let me just start from the front, so I can go into this thing. Okay, practical example of a VA loan. Basically, you have a.
Rehab loan.
Rehab loan. Actually, is it 203K? This is-
VA renovation.
There you go. All right, basically you have a client who qualifies for the VA, correct me if I'm wrong, the VA loan. They have to be military or the spouse has to be some part of the dependent or something, eligibility, there you go. And also, they find this particular property that doesn't meet the standards of the VA. Check mark, okay? So basically, they go in, they need cabinetry work, you need some appliances put in there in order to pass the VA approval, correct? So what Joe can do, are you following me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
What Joe can do, this client
I'm
here
listening to you,
really-
Captain. Go ahead.
this client really liked this house, but you don't wanna lose the sale, correct? So you contact Joe, and Joe, you tell Joe you have this client wanna buy this home, and the repairs on this home is roughly about $30,000. Okay, there you go. And they can actually take those repairs, factor it into the rehab
Yeah.
loan. They have to qualify for that though, and actually they can be approved to get everything done. You have a happy client.
Yeah, I think that wasn't bad, but like,
I have a question.
it was good. Hold up, this is what I'm trying to say. Let's say, the practical version of that is, let's say you take someone to a house, and they really like it, but then they're like, man, I really don't wanna get it, the kitchen's outdated, and I don't have the money to fix it. And what you say is like, listen, if you really like the house, we can take care of this kitchen for you, if it's a VA.
Right.
So that's how you sell the house off that.
Yeah, it's just like you're in college when you write a paper and then you turn it in and somebody just twists it all around. Same.
Exactly.
But here's the expert right here. So the numbers that he was putting right here, basically, help me out, I'm trying to sound like.
On this one, I just did a basic, oh, you can come on through,
Okay, sorry.
no big deal. So on this one, kitchen, bath remodel, estimating about 50K for a kitchen remodel. Obviously, it's probably a lot less here. Bath remodel, about 10,000. Total renovation cost is 60,000. Acquisition or purchase price of the property is 150,000. We do 60,000 in repair. I can do a max loan of about $210,000.
See, and when,
Cover 100% of it. Yes, sir.
Now, with no cap on the repairs, does the property have to pay for 210?
Of course.
yes.
Okay, that's the
And-
catch.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gotta make sense.
But remember, most repairs aren't 60 grand. If you
Right.
like to repaint, it could be like 10 grand.
They're roughly
That's what I'm
seeing
trying
them
to
at
say.
$20,000 and $30,000 right now, based on what I've seen.
So the great thing about that is, you remember before Joe had this product, we have to tell our VA buyers, sorry, we cannot help you, have to go FHA do a renovation loan. We don't have to tell them that anymore, right, Joe?
That's correct.
Which is
Bobby has a
big.
question.
Bobby?
Miss, sorry, Miss
It
Bobby.
may not have anything to do with the VA renovation loan, but I had one fall through yesterday because the sale price wasn't 144.01. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Now, USAA told them it has to be 144.01.
Correct.
In order to, the sales price. But they
Right.
said that they could use the VA funding fee to bring that sales price up.
No.
The
No.
appraisal, the appraised value came back at, $7,000 less, so it just blew up the deal.
Right.
So,
So what it is we're talking VA eligibility, all right? So if you're an active, when you earn your certificate of eligibility from the VA, that eligibility certificate, that certificate is an insurance policy, okay? There's a lot of misconceptions. The VA doesn't lend money. The VA insures the lender. It's an insurance policy. That insurance policy is for $36,000, okay? That's what the VA provides us, which covers the top 25% of whatever we loan. So if I loan $100,000, they're gonna cover me for $25,000 of that $100,000. All right, what happens is if your veteran has already used their certificate of eligibility and they still maintain that property, they already have an existing VA loan and their eligibility entitlements are still tied to that property, the only way to get those back is to sell the home or refinance it into a product outside of the VA.
Or
If
remain
not,
entitlement for the down payment.
if not, their remaining entitlements are tied up. So as long as that initial purchase price was less than 144,000, they can use what they call their extended entitlements. But when they use their extended entitlements, their next purchase has to be greater than 144,000. That's the line in the sand drawn by the VA. So basically, because they already have an existing VA loan, they have to be greater than 144 to use what they call their extended entitlements for second and subsequent use.
so the sales price has to be 144. They can't use the
$144 and
VA,
1
they
cent.
can't use the VA funding fee, or they can't use, sell concessions.
They cannot use
because
their
USAA told them
eligibility.
they could.
Yes, USA makes this mistake a lot because it's a
So
call
you
center.
just have to move up the sales price a
And
little
that's
bit,
why
is that
when
the
it gets
issue?
underwritten.
But it didn't
But
appraise,
that's-
so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't appraise.
She said it was 7,000.
Like
Yeah.
USA ain't
Yeah,
that great.
so it doesn't appraise,
Right.
not much you can do.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah.
just moving on.
Typically, what we see is the consumer buys their first house, military community, 120,000. They turn it into a rental property and then they decide to buy their new home. Their new home's typically much higher, 250, not an issue. We use the extended eligibility.
So the renovation loan, you can add that to that sales price.
Absolutely.
You can?
Mhm.
So, okay, there's things they do want to, there was a house that was flipped. So they do want to make some changes.
Mhm.
So if they came to you for the renovation loan, would that increase the sales price?
Potentially, if we could make it appraise.
Oh.
You still got an appraisal issue.
But did you say flip?
It was.
It was already.
Yeah, but you know, yeah, but there's a chance that the repairs that you do to the house would get it to
Could add
appraise,
additional value.
could add additional value.
But if it was already flipped, the additional value, they've probably already chewed it all up. It's unlikely, it could happen, but it's probably unlikely. So what happens in this scenario, okay, the way we've got our agreement with the VA is basically you're gonna write this initial purchase contract for $150. You're gonna go out, identify the contractor to perform the work, they're gonna prepare us with the scope of work. We're gonna add it to the loan amount, and then what we're gonna do, and this is the tricky part of it, this is the only way the VA allows us to do it. You're gonna turn around and do an amendment to the purchase contract, changing the purchase price to $210,000, and the seller is gonna contribute $60,000 towards closing.
Does it change the interest rate if they actually, use the rehab?
Well, how,
They've got to
Yeah.
pay,
It changes the
Go
interest
ahead.
rate.
I mean, 8% is the absolute,
The net to your seller is identical, nothing changes, it's just,
Yeah.
it's an administrative, because the way the VA rule is, can't exceed.
and the funding
the
fee is
lower
based on
of-
210.
Right, the funding fee is gonna remain the same,
Yeah.
so funding fee doesn't change, interest rate does change, anytime you go from a conventional standard purchase loan to a renovation loan, rates change, same thing, refinance rates are much different than purchase rates. Purchase rates are gonna be the very bottom, refinance rates are a little higher, when you start getting into specialty products, renovation loans, things like that, they do carry a higher interest rate, generally it's about a half. So if today's rate, it would be on a purchase, they're looking at 4.25, you're looking at VA renovation probably 4.75, but I'm getting them $60,000 in renovations, and a year later, we can refinance it.
So we just put that in the steps, the $60,000?
Yeah, well, what we'll do is we'll go back and we do an amendment to the contract, and we'll lay out a seller worksheet to show them, like, hey, seller, the net to use the same, basically, I'm handing you 210 at closing, and then you're turning around and handing it back to the contractor.
You
That,
hope they
the
have-
seller is, the seller is
don't-
paying the contractor, but we're paying the
What
seller.
if they don't give it
so-
back to you, Joe?
Huh?
What do you?
Oh, don't worry, that's why we have escrow agents, we have attorneys to
okay.
handle that.
That was good. Hey, I like it when you get into a little blackboard, Joe.
You're gonna use that loan one day, right?
I like when you do it. This, I'm gonna be sarcastic now.
Okay.
But like, this is gonna be like this. My drawings are not very as good as yours, but with this is what I'm gonna say. See, guys, when you make money, this is what happens. Lots of dollar bills. When you don't make money, you get a zero. When you do make money,
Dollars.
that's my presentation.
Like that. And that VA renovation
I'm
can help you
enlightened.
make dollars, that's good. All right, y'all, so what we're gonna do today, and I've been talking to a couple of y'all, Herman and I, we talked about a marketing plan. So remember, number one, you want listings, right? Okay? Herman, it's funny, I was talking to Herman about this. Herman's got 3 or 4 under contract, right? But all buyers. He said, man, I'm working 7 days a week.
Yeah, let's give him a hand of applause.
Herman said, I'm working 7 days a week. He said, I gotta get some more listings. And you're
Now,
exactly right.
are you coming to Mike Fury, Herman?
Not this time. I have gone last year.
Yeah.
Not this time.
Are you sure?
Last time, yeah.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I got closings that day.
Okay.
All right.
That's the life of a rock star agent, man. Don't worry about that. You got other people to go to your closing.
Way to go.
Come on, man.
But anyway, so Herman, so we're talking about, so obviously the answer is we gotta get more listings, right? So I think, why is it more reluctant on listings? Why are buyers easier? Why are we shy away from listings sometimes? What do y'all think? More accountability, right?
Yeah, pressure to sell.
Pressure, more pressure.
Don't like to hear the word no.
Don't like to hear the word no, right? Buyers don't shop agents, they usually go with you. Hey, yeah, I can show you houses. So it takes a lot more expertise, right?
Think about it, there's no confrontation. Like when you're a buyer, you just get him in the car. If we lose the house, I'm so sorry, Mr. Buyer, we lost the house. Like there's nothing.
It was still competition for a
Yeah.
buyer. If he walked into an open house, buying a house, and you lost.
Hey, you're right, but I mean, you don't have to, when
That's
you're
what
listing.
happened to me
Yeah.
this past weekend.
by a broker's agreement.
Miss Yvette, when you go to listing competition, actually, I'm going to a listing today with Miss Yvette at 6 p.m.
That's
We
right,
got one.
Matt. Congratulations.
So what happens that one? Then you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta have the comps. You gotta be ready to confront them. Not to list that thing too high, because what happens if you list that too high?
It just sits there, not
It just sits there, and what happens? Then they get mad at you,
Right.
and then you end up burning that relationship, man. So that's where like a professional comes in. You gotta know your facts straight. You gotta know your objections, and that kind of thing.
So it takes a higher level of expertise. That's why we focus so much on listings here. Not only does it, make you more money. So one of our goals we talked about, Herman, is for you to have 10 listings. And if you have 10 listings, you're gonna go to closing at least 2 or 3 times a month, okay? That's not to mention the buyers you have. So everybody should have a goal to have at least 5, I would say, and preferably 10 listings at all times, okay? So one of the things that shies us away from listings, though, is because there is a higher level of accountability, obviously. The seller's under pressure to sell it. So one of the reasons we're reluctant is because we don't have a plan of action, okay? The seller asks, well, how are you gonna get my home sold? Most of us freeze up. We don't know. We don't know. So anyway, that's what we're gonna come up with today. And I am going to, if you'll turn to the back of your sheet, I've got a 7-day listing plan. Now, I've intentionally left it blank because we're gonna spend about 3 weeks on this. Today is brainstorming. At the end of 3 weeks, we're gonna have a finalized 7-day plan. The other reason I left it blank, because I want it to be personalized. I want some of this stuff to come from the group, but some of it to come from you, okay? So if you'll personalize it, you'll use it more. So we're just gonna brainstorm today, okay? Now, why do I call it a 70-day listing plan of action? Why 70 days?
Average days on market.
Average days on the market is right now is 70, right? 70 is 10 weeks times 7 days. And we're better than average, right? The average is 70. We're better than average, so we should be able to get it under contract in 70 days or less. That's why I call it a 70-day. How'd you like to get all your listings under contract in 70 days? Wouldn't that be
It'll
wonderful?
happen.
Wouldn't that be wonderful? Now, to get it under contract in 70 days, what's probably the most important thing? Price. Price and condition.
Yep.
So the other thing that this 70-day, it puts some pressure on your seller. Because if your seller's not willing to cooperate, it may not happen. So it puts some accountability on the seller also, right? Hey, Mr. Seller, my goal is to have your property under contract in 70 days. So, I'm gonna help you with marketing. You've gotta help me with price and condition. Okay, so it puts some pressure on the seller too, which is good. Because if I don't have a partner willing to help me, it's not gonna happen. So I have accountability and the seller has accountability, okay? All right, so question, in 10 weeks, how many times should we talk to the seller about price and condition? I'm just opening it up. What are y'all's thoughts? Because if it goes 71 days, I haven't fulfilled my mission.
At least bi-weekly. I don't feel like you should touch on it every week.
Yeah. So you're saying bi-weekly, which is 5 times in 10 weeks.
So,
Okay.
Depends on the situation, how many showings you've had,
Yeah,
what
exactly.
price range you're in, there's a lot of factors that you gotta look at, but, it could be all 10 weeks,
It could be all 10 weeks, depending how motivated they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it
So,
not a good idea to ask up front, when you take the listing, if we hadn't had any showings or anything within the first 2 to 4 weeks, till you go down to this price?
that's a great idea. Matter of fact, in this plan, you should probably do that. In this plan, you should probably do that. Matter of fact, you may want to schedule price reductions for the whole 10 weeks. That would be easier.
However long it takes.
What's that?
I would just say however long it takes, because if it's not selling, you need a reduction.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna leave that up to y'all. I would say you wanna, in a 70-day plan though, you wanna address it probably at least every other week, if that's your goal, okay? That's 5 times, okay? So go ahead and put down there, we're gonna review price every 2 weeks. Put that in there. So in other words, we're gonna review it on week 2, price review. Week 4, price review. Week 6, week 8, and week 10, okay? Price review.
Harmon, what's a great way for you to show to your sellers that we need a price reduction?
CMA.
If a good technique is, if you think the house is priced too high, go ahead and have an agent open house
Oh, yeah.
and get them all to write that down on their feedback.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
In your presentation, I
Set 'em
thought,
up.
in your presentation, I thought you
Hey.
had a list of, comps and
This is-
prices.
It's not me
So I
saying it.
think
You
I
see
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
want the
consistently,
high price.
same thing,
Yeah.
right?
This is, these prices within this range.
Well-
And work within that range,
Yeah.
and now we're aware.
So one of the keys to this 70 days is gonna be to get within that range that you present the first time out.
Correct.
That's gonna be one of the keys,
Mhm.
okay? All right, so here's another idea I have, okay? Let's set them up on a drip of what's sold in that price range every week. Let's set them up on a drip. That way they're very aware of what the market's doing in that price range. Every week I want them on that drip, and you can set it up. It takes you 15 seconds.
That's a
Every
good
week
idea,
they're
Sean.
getting,
That's good.
And maybe a 10% bracket,
yeah,
10%
10%, 100 to 110, 110,
So you're sending them under contract pending and closed,
everything.
Yep.
Send them,
active market?
I would send
No,
them,
I wouldn't do that.
well, you don't wanna give them too much.
Why not? Because if somebody underpriced, now that justifies to me that they need to reduce their price to come down to this.
But sometimes active
wanna
market
overwhelm.
people will list it, so, yeah, there's maybe too many data points, but I was thinking too, Jeff, maybe like, some people will list their house at a ridiculous price, and then you're just gonna be,
sellers.
yeah.
They want to test the market, you know?
So if I've got a house in Harris County that I want under contract in 7 days, and it's, let's just say it's 220, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drip them on everything sold and under contract between, I'd say 200 and 230, 240. And your range will be a little higher there.
You're not gonna send them new active listings then?
You can if you want to, it's up to you. It's
I
up
think
to
that's
you.
important because
Okay.
it really matters
It's up to
what
you.
the competition is.
But the thing is, you're putting on a drip to see, hey, what's happening in this price range?
Yeah.
Okay, Kim, did you have something?
I want to say, and I'm gonna do this with mine, you listen, I got, ideas. I'm physically gonna take him and we're gonna look at what comps are against him in the neighborhood. Because this particular seller needs to see what a clean house looks like
Yeah,
and that, because he doesn't seem to get it. But if he can physically see what's on the market, his
the competition,
we're gonna go in those houses.
good idea.
and look
That's a
and see.
great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great
Great
idea.
idea.
Show them the competition,
Yeah, yeah.
okay? Yes, Jennifer?
I have a question, and maybe
Yeah.
we just limit this. Would I lose my credibility though if I'm actually showing the seller what's sold, and as if I didn't price this house right, or her house right from the
If
Well,
you
you're
showed them what,
pricing it based on their input.
No, I'm pricing it based on the comps in the area. But then a couple weeks later, I'm saying, okay, this was sold here, now I'm asking you to.
well, the reason I like to show them what's sold is because, you know, this is who beat you. This is what's happening in this price range, and
Here's why.
here's why.
But do you feel like, I guess I feel like, am I losing my credibility? Like I don't know what I'm.
No, because,
talking about,
no,
though?
because we assumed that you didn't price it right to begin with because of him.
Right,
Oh,
we're
okay, not
assuming
because
you
of
didn't
comp.
price it right, or you
Okay,
would have sold.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's basically, it's not based on.
But I've always thought the best way to get a price reduction is to show what's going on in the market. You know, it's not just, hey, let's get a price reduction because I want to get a sale. This is what's going on in the market. So I think one of the best things to do is set them up on a drip and show them what's sold. Okay? So let's do that every week because again, we're looking at 10 weeks. We're addressing price at least every 2 weeks, okay, to get this thing sold.
But what if you have a home that doesn't compare to the other homes around it, you know?
If it does not compare,
Okay, say once you have a home, and has land.
yeah,
It's a much larger home than the ones around it.
yes.
How will you pull comps like that?
You're gonna have to go outside, and it's a little harder. But again, let's say you price it at 225. Let's set them up on a drift. Hey, this is what's happening between 2 and 250. This one sold for 225. Why did they beat you? Why are you getting beat at this price range? And then you can talk about a price adjustment later. Okay, those are a little harder. All right, so let's go to
Let's put Rick Ward on the spot.
Uh-oh.
Because he's good, he's a good, Rick just came in here. Rick, if you can't get the price correct right away in the listing appointment, they wanna keep it high, even though you told them not to how often do you talk to them about pricing?
Every time I talk to them,
Good for you.
every time.
That's right.
Good for you. So if they go above your range, you're talking to them about it a lot.
Yes.
How much above the range though is, depending on what you're gonna take a look at them.
Yeah. Well, Rick's philosophy is I'm gonna take the listing, but I'm gonna get price reductions, even if it's overpriced, right, Rick?
That's right.
Right,
Usually when I'm in the listing presentation,
yeah.
all right, if nobody's seen this house in 2 weeks, I want a $10,000 reduction.
Okay, it's a good rule.
2 more weeks, I want another 5.
Good rule.
Depends, you know, we're talking about a $500,000 house or $100,000, it's very different.
Good rule.
But percentages are the same.
All right, very good. So right now, where we are is a 70 days to under contract. We're gonna work very hard on getting the price right at the beginning, but we're gonna address price every 2 weeks, and we're gonna set them up on a weekly drip, so they know what's going on in the market. All right, so let's talk about that first week. What are we gonna do? We're gonna put a sign in the yard. This is all given. We're gonna put the MLS. Okay, write that down. The reason I want you to write down because I want you to show the seller the actions you're taking to get it sold. We are going to Century 21 Video because Century 21 makes a free video for you. Take advantage of it. It shows action. Also, you're going to have your own website for the house. Century 21 creates that own website for your house.
I was gonna say that. Jennifer, you know for your listings,
Yes, sir.
for your listings, you can just copy the Century 21 address and post it on Facebook, and it's got each one of your listings has its own website. It looks amazing.
Yeah, so that's action you're taking for your seller. I want to show them what we're doing. We're working hard for our commissions here, okay? You got your own website, just tell your seller you're gonna do that. You got your own video, you take 7 photos, Century 21 will do a video for you, okay? You don't have to pay any extra for that. All right, you're gonna put it in the MLS. What else? You're gonna put a sign out, lockbox,
We're gonna put it on all the social media.
social media. Yeah, it's gonna automatically go out to social media. I want you to say that.
Golden ruler.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're gonna
hold on.
set it up on Golden Ruler.
Let's
What
get.
is that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Um,
Good question. That, hold up.
Notifies.
That's a good question. So, I know you know what it is, because you do it. I want Teresa to answer it.
I just said, don't ask me, because I don't know.
That's why I told you to do it.
You're gonna set them up on Golden
Alright, guys.
Ruler, right?
Yes, all right, guys. This is what Golden Ruler is. This is really important. This is super important. What's the number one complaint?
Okay.
Kim, what's the number one complaint about realtors from
Communication.
consumers? Communication. So what does Golden Ruler do? Golden Ruler, I'm going to show it to you in a second, gives your listing, your seller, an update every week or 2 weeks on what's going on in the listing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, traffic, internet traffic.
Internet activity.
So we're gonna put them on Golden Ruler again. That's a Century 21 benefit, doesn't cost you any extra. Okay, now, so we've got a lot of action in the first week. Remember, the second week, we are going to address price in the second week, and we're also gonna address condition. How do we address condition of the house with the seller?
Just tell them.
There you go.
In a tactful way. I
Right.
mean,
So, what week are we gonna have an agent, we're gonna have an agent's open house. What week should we do that?
second week.
Second
first
week, agent, write down agent opens house, second week.
But
And-
if the house is showing though, I mean, I don't feel like there's need. What if it's showing? Like it's showing like 2-3 times a week.
Yeah,
I mean, you could get your feedback from those showing.
yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
but they're gonna want,
also-
they're gonna want an agent open house.
And also,
They're
I'm
just
saying
gonna
if
want
You're
that.
marketing a high-end property, you better hold it out.
Yeah.
that you're gonna do an open house.
Okay, also remember on the agent open houses, I would put this in there. You're gonna serve lunch. Go ahead and tell the seller. So number one, they know you're spending money, even though the loan officer may buy lunch for you. You don't have to tell them that. Okay? Okay, so we're gonna have an agent open house second week, third week, fourth week. Again, this is individualized, okay? But somewhere in there you need to have that if we're gonna get it under contract in 10 days.
Don't
or
you think
10
it
weeks.
needs to be sooner than later though?
Yeah, I'd rather do it the second week. Because that way I'm getting agent feedback
Quick as you can.
quick as I can, and then I can get it to the seller so I can get that price reduction if I need it. or that wall painted if I need it.
Agent comment sheets in the house too.
Agent comment sheets in the house,
Justify
yes.
for your price reduction.
Agent comment sheets, okay, we're gonna do that the second week. I'm with Pam, I think you do it as soon as possible if we're trying to get it under contract in 10 weeks. Okay? All right, what else in the second week? Anything else in the second week?
How about just a telephone call? If you're gonna send them a drip every week, post sales, nice to just pick up the phone.
Oh,
and
no,
tell them,
no, you have to
review
call.
that report with them. Did you see it?
Yes, you
I
have
mean,
to,
just because you email it, did they see it?
of course, you have to call.
So a follow-up call?
I would say a follow-up call every week.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what I think.
Absolutely.
Every week a follow-up call. If we're gonna get it under contract in 10 weeks, we need to talk at least 10 times, okay? So every week we want a follow-up call. Every week, okay. All right, how about week 3? How about week 3?
Price review again? No.
No, you just.
We have a price review on week 2 and week 4.
Would you have a public open house then if you hadn't really had?
How about a public open house week 3?
Y'all don't think that's right? What's y'all's feelings on a public?
Some people think it's a waste of time,
Yeah, you're satisfying the seller, but all you're doing is picking up clients.
but the seller likes it though. The
Not
seller likes
qualified
it.
buyers.
Some sellers like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Shep, let me, you guys, let me show you this real quickly. Kim, you guys take a look at this. Yvette, what is this? This is like, each one of you guys' listings has its own website, right? So
Yeah.
this is Doris, this is her listing, but then check this out. If you go, so each one of the websites, it's one presidential court, one president, C21. She got, one of the big things you want to do with listings is what? It's pricing and taking amazing pictures. So she got Doug Roth to take the pictures. See how good it looks? But then, here's that virtual tour Shep was talking about, that each one of your listings has for free.
Yeah, so go ahead and put this in your listing plan of action.
Can we put this video on our Facebook?
Yeah,
Just copy that URL.
Don't miss this.
So, guys, every listing you have has its own video.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Never could have the same thing.
Oh, it takes some photos and strings the video together for you.
Oh, okay.
But it's not a video. Yeah, here, it's a picture.
Pictures.
In Atlanta, we video.
Well, that's my next question.
Yeah.
Shep, what do y'all think about, I've noticed like Ann Hannah does a lot of personal videos on her listings. And from what I've read, a lot of people are going towards looking at videos now.
Yeah,
You know, like having
put that in your plan.
one of us to actually come out and film me
Certain price range.
with that.
Yeah, I think
Is
it's a
that
great idea. Yeah, put that in your personal plan.
But you want it professionally done because agents walk around and do this now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
They
All right,
bounce around.
Herman,
And then they turn the phone the wrong way and you got little.
Herman, you and I talked about a couple of actions. Give me some that you talked about, some other actions.
Guys,
All right, one thing, Herman, on week 5, let's do week 5 now. Week 5, we're gonna call agents that work in that price range about that house.
Really?
How about call agents?
But what do you say to them? I mean,
Hey, I've got I know you work in this price range, just wanna tell you about this house.
How about a highlight sheet to all the agents?
Okay, how about an email drip? How about an email drip?
Yeah.
I mean, how about an email to all the
I
agents?
mean, I saw one today that came out that had the beautiful picture of the house and description, and guess what? Had no price, no address, no MLS.
Yeah, I saw that
I mean, it's
too.
like a waste of time.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, how about an email blast to all the agents? How much does that cost? Nothing. How about
I
that?
only do that on the first week, though.
That'd be
Yeah,
fine,
that's
put it on the
You
first
do
week.
it on the
But you
first week, I
gotta
will wait
do it
till
on a
the
regular basis.
Yeah.
All right, put it on the first
Maybe
week.
weekly or bi-weekly?
I do it every 2 weeks, maybe every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do it 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, agents, I get over, I
Yeah,
put
you
that
don't
stuff
wanna
in junk.
bombard them, yeah.
I get overwhelmed with that
I
stuff.
mean, I've opted out.
Not doing
most
too
of
much.
that. I mean, you get 100 of them today.
I think it's okay to do one. You don't want to send the same one over again.
Yeah.
All right, what are some other actions we can take to get it sold?
Make sure it has good curb appeal.
Yes.
All right, so that's addressing condition,
Can't
right?
get them out of the car.
Because if they don't see what they like on the outside, they don't wanna go in, because you don't know how many people I've had in my car showing houses, and we just pull up the front, they say, keep going.
So remember,
That's why you gotta preview houses.
Yeah.
so remember, in this 70-day plan, we're addressing price
And condition.
and condition, which is curb appeal. Curb appeal is condition every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Curb appeal, very important though.
The grass has to be mowed.
Yeah.
Keep it mowed.
Things have to be put in the back.
We're a team. You do your part, I'll do mine.
We're a team.
Trailer out there front yard.
We're a team. All right, what's up, Mary? What else? What?
They don't cut it, you cut it for them, charge for it.
What else, Mary? Guys, Mary's asking a question else.
Mary had a question. Go ahead, Mary.
When you're emailing the agents, are you doing it yourself or you just sending it to the MLS?
You do it yourself.
With yourself?
Yeah. Okay. What are some other action plans that don't cost us any money?
You can send a flyer out every week, like when agents wake up in the morning looking like what's new to the market. You can send it directly to their email.
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
Action plans that don't cost you any money,
Yeah.
Craigslist and Facebook and Marketplace.
How about Facebook?
Roll lights in the back.
Somewhere put Facebook in there.
That needs to be on the first week, too, don't you think?
It can be the first week. Yeah.
Yeah. And what is it?
All that can be the first week. Okay. All right. What else? What else can we do to get our listing exposed? What else?
Don't forget the people you work with, your appraisers, or your home inspectors, folks like that. You know, they're meeting a lot of people that are looking to buy and sell homes, and so.
Tell your appraiser, tell your home inspector about the
Anyone
house.
within your circle of influence.
Anybody in your circle of influence?
follow up with your showings. Well, you should be doing that.
Oh, yeah,
but-
yeah.
Yeah, always do that. Always follow with the
People
showings.
just don't do that like you used to do.
Yeah.
I showed 25 houses Saturday and one person is
I
the
know,
only one listening.
I showed 9 houses yesterday and got a call.
All right. Again, we're just brainstorming today. Now, what is some stuff that we can spend money on? What's a good thing to spend money on?
Pictures if it's,
Photography,
yeah, pictures if it's,
Professional photos. How about
In
professional
a certain price
photos?
range.
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, pricing and
I'm not
pictures.
gonna pay $600 for a $80,000 listing.
Yeah, but there's no $600.
No, it's $100.
You can't, Doug Roth will do it for like $75.
I mean,
Yeah.
How about professional photos? Professional photos cost about $100 to $120.
Right.
It's a good investment of
Doug,
your
but
money.
Doug will do 8 for like 65, I think.
Yeah, Doug can do it for cheaper. Yes.
But the problem with those is that you gotta put pictures on the internet right away. And then 2 weeks later, then replace those pictures with the professional pictures. Because most professional guys are booked and they can't take pictures tomorrow for you.
That's where that's where your charm comes in, Joe.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're delayed.
Oh, that's where money talks.
That's where your charm
You
comes
plus them
in.
up.
What else? Jennifer? Yeah. All right, so y'all, what we're doing today is we're just brainstorming. We're gonna do it again next week, and at the third week, I'm gonna have a 70-day market plan for you guys. We're just brainstorming today. Okay? So come next week, the third week, I'm gonna have it all laid out, so you're not gonna be afraid to list, because you're gonna know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Would door hangers be a good thing to do an expense on in the neighborhood?
Put that on yours. Put
Actually,
that on yours.
you know what door hangers will work like a champ? We should do this. Every time I've done this, this is like the best way to get listings, man. It works like a champ. You just have to have the guts to do it. But farming your own neighborhood with someone, just door knocking.
Door
Dude.
You know anybody want to buy or sell a house?
Oh, get out of there, guys. I don't want to hear it. Hey, Mr. Lewis, I don't want to bother you too much. I'm an agent in this neighborhood, and I'd love to give you a free market analysis sometime. You know, just simple stuff. Here's my contact card.
So another thing, maybe some of y'all may want to say, hey, I'm going to call the 10 closest neighbors. I'm going to knock on the 10 closest neighbors' doors. The thing is, what we're doing is we're producing action that creates a reaction. But, okay, so come with your ideas next week. At the third week, I'm going to have it all laid out for you guys. I'm going to send it to you in a Word form so you can personalize it too once we get it finished. But we're brainstorming for this. This is 70 week 10 weeks to under contract, 70 days to under contract. Okay.
Good deal. Hey, let's
Yes, Larry.
I don't know if it'll help everybody any, but you know, Toolkit has that list.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at that. I'm gonna pull that out. That's right.
That's right. It does. Good point. And actually, Toolkit has a great slide. You know, sometimes you gotta tell sometimes you gotta tell the seller that they gotta be clean when they're messy. And there's a slide in there just like that tells them like everything you need them to do, like make your bed and stuff like that. But you don't have to tell them. You can be like, please just look over this slide really well.
So yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna look at Toolkit, see the ideas they've got. But I think if you have a plan to get it, you're gonna be much more confident on your listing presentation. Also, you're gonna have, your seller's gonna have some accountability with this also. Because if they don't have it priced right or conditioned, you're not gonna get it done. But they also, remember, the sellers want it under contract in 70 days also because they're motivated.
I was gonna tell you, you're right. Last thing, you guys, what's the competition for this month?
Closing.
Closing's good. What are the prizes?
A
Herman.
trip to Panama City Beach, and you know I want that.
Yeah, that's right. So this is the way it works. The first prize gets like that trip to Panama City for the weekend, but then we have another trip that we're giving away too, a free condo, and that one you just have to have one closing of us for the month, and your name gets put in the jackpot.
You're giving away a free
Where's that location?
I caught him on that last week.
It's right on the beach. It's a nice lot.
Which beach?
No. Hey, it's that seashell beach. Like I think the biggest con in Panama City. What's the name of that beach that doesn't have any shells?
Shell Island.
Shell Island. Man, I want the Shell Island. There's not one shell in Shell Island.
Hey y'all, it's not Robin Beach at Callaway Gardens, okay?
No. Yeah, no. Yeah, Shep. It's Shep's condo, and he's just remodeling it this weekend. So it's a nice condo.
Panama City.
On the Gulf, on the bay though,
It's on the bay, but you can get the beach in about 5 minutes.
Look, Kim's getting a little bit sassy now. She's like, she's getting a little bit of high maintenance there, Kim. She's like, am I gonna have my chauffeur pick me up? Like, hey, but anyways, great sales meeting, you guys. That was good. And let's give Shep a hand of applause for the sales meeting. Good job, Shep.
We're gonna continue this, but you guys are gonna have you guys are gonna have this plan down, and you're gonna be the best in the business at listing, okay?